Now on KMTV, mountain lion dies at the zoo years after rescue in West Omaha. Catholics leave Omaha, headed for the March for Life in D.C.
All life has dignity and all life has meaning, and my dad raised me that way.
Emotions run high as Good Samaritan greets woman he helped save along the interstate. It's a snowy night tonight in Omaha, and it was back in early December when a horrific crash occurred at the I-80-480 interchange. 2 people maimed on the side of the road. Good evening, I'm Craig DeGrelli. One man refused to just drive by and look. He took action, and tonight he met the woman he saved. Reporter Maya Sines has this touching story you'll see only on 3 tonight. Maya.
Craig, it was an unfortunate fate that brought Hesbedi Rodriguez and Jeffrey Bennett together the day of the accident. Bennett helped save her life, and he saw them take her in the ambulance to the hospital, but he never even knew her name. But tonight they both got to meet, and we were there for that emotional reunion.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Because
Mommy, you say, I'm happy.
Yes, I'm happy.
She's happy.
These 2 strangers are meeting for the second time. 34-year-old Hesbedi Rodriguez doesn't remember him, but is thankful for 25-year-old Jeffrey Bennett, who, thanks to his quick thinking, contributed to saving her life after a tragic car accident last month left her in a hospital bed for nearly a month.
You've been saying it's so surreal. It just seemed like a bad nightmare. It kept replaying over and over again.
The accident left Rodriguez with a broken pelvis and forced doctors to amputate her left leg.
No have a price for what you do.
Bennett was driving home from work December 3rd when he encountered the accident. He quickly got out to help and found Rodriguez and her friend, 28-year-old Miguel Ramirez, laying on the ground after being struck by a passing vehicle. With no materials other than the clothes on his back, Bennett took his belt off and fastened it onto her leg to stop the bleeding, which essentially saved her life.
You make me have time with my kids.
Rodriguez says she'll continue to be strong for her kids, strong like Bennett, the day he saved her life.
And I will pray for you every day. And you will be so happy and have a nice family. Because this is what you need. Have a good heart. Thank you.
Rodriguez says she continues praying for her health and looks forward to starting therapy in the next few months. The other victim, Miguel Ramirez, is still in fair condition at Nebraska Medicine. Reporting live from the studio, Maya Sines, KMTV Action 3 News.
Tremendous story, Maya. Wow, what a scene. Plows are still on Omaha streets tonight. Most of the snow event is over, just flurries and a bit of wind. Heavy snow tied up morning rush hour traffic. Some drivers reported commutes twice as long as usual. There were a bunch of fender benders, but no serious injuries from those crashes. In Norfolk, half a foot of snow fell. The slick conditions are putting the brakes on traffic there tonight. The city remains under a snow emergency. That means parking is illegal along snow routes. Drivers are told to park on the even side of the street. There are a handful of school delays for tomorrow. You can find them at our website, KMTV.com.
Now, your Weather Alert First Forecast.
And a good evening to you. Kind of a Currier and Ice type feel as we overlook the Creighton campus right now with the snow on the ground, cloudy skies, 26 degrees right now with a northwest breeze at 17. Our high today was 33. That came earlier in the day. Visibility's a few locations below 10 miles. Still some haze, some fog, some mist around the area. As we take a look at our radar, most of the snow has pretty much come to an end. There's still a little bit of a mist or some flurries out there, but no additional accumulations are expected. As we take a look at our drive time weather, again, I want to advise people to watch out for some slick spots late tonight, early tomorrow morning for the AM drive. Most of the main thoroughfares are treated. However, there could be some slick spots. We'll start the day at 23 degrees, some cloud cover, and for the PM drive, still plenty cold out there. We'll have a look at what lies ahead the next few days, some chilly weather ahead. We'll do that in just a few minutes. Craig.
The leftover snow has drivers tapping the brakes in much of Nebraska and Iowa. A check of the Nebraska Department of Roads travel map indicates slick conditions around parts of the Omaha area and in much of the area north and west in Omaha. By the way, purple means completely covered, blue means partially. To the east, the Iowa Department of Transportation map shows ice and snow-packed roads across western Iowa and central Iowa, including Des Moines. Dangerous roads, one more reason why the Nebraska State Patrol is putting out the warning to drivers tonight. Troopers urge people to wear their seatbelts. It comes after a deadly start to the year on Nebraska roads. 18 people have already died so far this month, 7 more than all of January last year. 87% of the victims were not wearing their seatbelts. Tens of thousands of people will gather in Washington, D.C. this Friday, but with a far different message than we saw last week. Anti-abortion demonstrators are headed there tonight. Reporter Nick Starling is live at St. Gerald's in Ralston to explain. Nick.
Craig, the March for Life has been an annual event since 1973 when the Supreme Court decided Roe v. Wade. But this is the first time this event has happened after one of the largest women's rights group protests in history. Backpacks and food kits blanket St. Gerald's entryway as over 250 people prepare to head to D.C. to fight against abortion.
All life has dignity and all life has meaning.
We have a job and walking around on Earth, and that's to speak up for the babies.
The majority here are teenagers, classmates, willing to march together to speak out for the pro-life movement.
It's just really empowering.
But it's not just a statement they want to make. They want results.
The Supreme Court made the wrong decision on that, and that we would like to see that reversed.
While this march is an annual event, it comes after hundreds of thousands of people packed the same national mall. The March for Women, fighting for women's rights.
I know there was a lot of disappointment with the Women's March. We were hoping that there would be more pro-life women that were able to attend and participate, but we really felt kind of excluded from that.
That exclusion is the opposite message this group says they want for anyone who opposes their views.
The two don't have to be mutually exclusive. The two can very well go together, and that's what we're about in the pro-life movement.
While this movement may receive backlash in D.C., they understand there's another side of this issue that's just as fired up.
I believe that they have a story and we also have a story, and so they're going to try to tell their story as well as we're going to try to tell our story.
I hope that the meaning of our march is truly brought to those women and show them that even kids of our age are going out and marching for life.
There were another 2 buses that were supposed to head to D.C. from Norfolk. However, their trip is canceled because of this snow. This group is scheduled to be back here in the Omaha area on Monday. Reporting live, Nick Starling, KMTV Action 3 News.
An Omaha teacher and softball coach will stand trial on a new child sexual assault charge. In November, police arrested Daryl Clark outside Monroe Middle School. In court, prosecutors said the victim's mother found him in bed with the underage girl. The new case stems from a 2005 complaint by an 11-year-old student at Beveridge Middle School. 12 years in federal prison, that's the sentence for a Missouri Valley man who brought a 14-year-old girl to Iowa from Arkansas for sex. John Thompson pleaded guilty to coercion and enticement last September. Thompson met the girl while working at a group home, then used social media to convince her to live with him and his wife. New at 10 on KMTV, Omaha police have released surveillance video, hoping a tip will lead them to an armed robber. The guy pulled a gun on a clerk at Omaha Tobacco at 32nd and L in South Omaha yesterday afternoon. Here's the incident right here. Pretty ominous. He demanded cash, ran from the store, and took off in a red 4-door car with no license plates. One controversy too many. Today, embattled State Senator Bill Kintner finally called it quits, leaving the Nebraska legislature.
Well, as much as my heart says to fight, my head says it's time to step away from the legislature.
Kintner announced his resignation just before the unicameral was going to vote to expel him. It comes after a cyber sex scandal last summer and the latest outrage over a retweet about women at the march in D.C.
I think he did the right thing for the legislature, for himself, his wife, and his constituents.
I'm glad he did the right thing. I'm glad we didn't have to go forward with the expulsion, although I was ready.
Kintner's resignation officially takes effect January 30th. Governor Pete Ricketts will appoint his replacement. An outspoken Kintner critic now finds himself under the microscope. The Legislature Executive Board decided today to set up a committee to investigate claims that State Senator Ernie Chambers does not live in the North Omaha district that he serves. John Chiara, who lost to Chambers in November, filed the complaint saying Chambers resides in Bellevue. Chambers says that's not true. A somber night for Omaha zookeepers as they deal with 2 animal deaths. A Japanese giant salamander died on Tuesday, and today a mountain lion named Omaha died. The big cat spent years on a special diet as he battled kidney disease. You might remember the male puma made headlines way back in 2003. Look at this. Police and zoo workers captured and tranquilized it near 114th and Dodge. It was injured and roaming near Papio Creek. President Trump forges ahead on his 3-word promise, build that wall. Tonight, reaction from the Mexican president. And Nebraskans look to federal lawmakers for help when it comes to their future, what the Bridge Act is, and why it's a timely topic.
You're watching KMTV Action 3 News with Jennifer Griswold, Craig Negrelli, weather with meteorologist Jennifer Zeppelin, and sports with Ben Stevens. This is KMTV Action 3 News live at 10.